In this episode, we head to Utah to drive the all-new all-wheel drive Camry. Wait, was that right? Yeah, Camry. It's now available with all-wheel drive and is coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. Thanks for watching today. If you haven't already, please take this moment to subscribe. It really does give us more opportunities to give first looks at unreleased models like this new Camry all-wheel drive. And along those lines, I have to give a full disclosure here. To get a first look, Toyota flew myself and a bunch of other journalists out to Park City, Utah, where they put us up in a nice hotel and we got to spend the day with pre-production test cars. Though the food and skiing were both excellent, we received no compensation for this review, and Toyota did not get a chance to see it before you, our viewers, did. With that out of the way, let's dig into this exciting new Toyota Camry. Adding all-wheel drive to a car like the Camry isn't about improving edge-of-the-seat performance or even making it more capable off-road, though I know some of our viewers would love to see that. Virginia Spartan. It's more about improving safety in adverse conditions, and one condition where all-wheel drive thrives is snow, which we'll get to shortly. First, let's take a closer look at exactly the car we have here. The model we're testing today is the Sporty XSE trim with the Premium Tech package and some other goodies. Price as you see it here, about $38,000 US. All-wheel drive is only available with a single drivetrain, a direct-injected 2.5-liter inline four-cylinder with 205 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque. The transmission is a direct-shift 8-speed automatic. EPA rates this setup at 25 miles to the gallon and a whopping 34 miles to the gallon on the highway. So you might be asking, why no V6 option? We asked Toyota that exact same question.
Yeah, when we started looking at this vehicle and wanted to do the all-wheel drive Camry and Avalon, we first looked at the V6 and said, should we do the V6 with an all-wheel drive? And, if we look at Camry and what the segment, what we're selling about 6% V6. So for Camry, it's not really one of the top sellers for us. But what we did is we made a mule of the L4 with the all-wheel drive and we drove it. And we really liked it. It's appropriate, it feels good. So for the segment, we think that's the right choice.
In the back is up to 15.1 cubic feet of space. Pull the tabs to drop the seats to accommodate larger objects. The second row of the Camry is pretty roomy for the mid-size class. I'm 6'1" and I have plenty of space. EPA rates total capacity at 96.4 cubic feet of passenger volume when equipped with a panorama sunroof. Without the panorama, you get a couple feet more. Up front, the 2020 Camry is pretty stylish. Ours was trimmed with a dark interior, which really carried the sporty feel inside the cabin. Touch points and seats were trimmed in premium leather, along with lots of power adjustments at hand for the driver. The main cluster is a nice mix of old and new, with traditional dials as well as a color multifunction screen in the middle. Here you can configure the advanced safety options, part of the Toyota Safety Sense P system. That is, pre-collision with pedestrian detection, blind spot warnings, and adaptive cruise control with lane alert and assist. Rounding out the rest of the features, our test car was equipped with heated and cooled seats, a large panorama sunroof, wireless charging for compatible devices, and a large touchscreen infotainment system with upgraded JBL sound and navigation. Navigate to the nearest Starbucks.
Showing results for
For Apple CarPlay or Android Auto integration, you still have to use a wired USB connection. The same screen doubles as a backup camera with surround view and tracking guidelines. The Camry offers 3 different drive modes. These affect the transmission and throttle inputs, but have no effect on the all-wheel drive system. If you want to row your own gears, you can either use the selector or paddles on the wheel. As far as mid-size sedans go, the newest Camry has a lot of good things going for it.
We looked at Nissan Altima, we looked at Subaru, but really we kind of went our own direction, what we think is the best for the segment.
It is fully loaded, but still not as capable as the Nissan Altima or the Subaru Legacy in overall safety tech. That is because you cannot yet get semi-autonomous lane tracing capability on the Camry. On the Altima, it's an option on upper trims. On the Subaru, it's now standard equipment. If lane tracing is a feature you really want, the Camry won't be an option. Not yet.
The Camry is, of course, available in a number of different drivetrains. You can get a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, you can even get a hybrid model. However, the all-wheel drive is currently only available with the 4-cylinder motor. And I think that's actually okay. That is going to be their biggest volume mover, and it really offers all-wheel drive to a very large audience, which is, I think, kind of the whole point here, is bringing all-wheel drive to the masses. Oh, pretty birds. We're out here today in Utah to have a little fun with the car and kind of see what it can do. So first off, we're going to do a 0 to 60. I'm putting the vehicle into sport mode. Put sport mode down here. I'm at a complete stop. 3, 2, 1, and go. 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Well, that's certainly not going to win any records, but it is, I mean, it's quick enough for getting onto the freeway, doing around town. It's just not going to win any races. Also, it doesn't sound great. That engine's a little bit wheezy sounding. It sounds like it's really trying hard. You know, I would love to see this with the V6. I don't care if it even has an automatic transmission. That would be fine. I just think it needs the extra power. Oh, especially when you compare it to like the Subaru Legacy with its available turbo engine. I mean, that puts out around 260 horsepower. This one at 203, yeah, it's not quite in that same ballpark. The Camry here has Toyota Safety Sense P. This version does not have lane tracing, but it does have auto steering in terms of detecting the edges and bumping you back into the middle. It'll also do adaptive cruise control, has pedestrian detection, blind spot warning. I mean, this trim level is fully loaded.
But we didn't come out here just to kick the tires and check the safety equipment. We have some real work to do. This is the first Camry available with all-wheel drive in a very long time, and that means we need to see if it's just for safety or can you really have some fun with it.
All-wheel drive is not completely foreign to the Camry. In fact, the Camry back in 1991, you could get an all-track version of it. However, that was a long time ago. That was so long ago, that was back when I was in high school.
We do have another video covering all of Toyota's available all-wheel drive systems. If you want to learn more, check out that video later. As for this Camry, what you need to know is that it uses the simpler dynamic torque control all-wheel drive system. This is the same system found on the entry-level all-wheel drive Highlander and RAV4 models. It's primarily a front-wheel drive system, but when slip is detected, power is shifted from the front to the back by way of an electronically controlled mechanical transfer coupler. As you can see here, when power starts to shift, the back wheels are reporting that they're slipping, and ABS shuts down the rear wheels until traction is improved. Basically, brakes are used both front to back as well as side to side to prevent wheels from spinning and redirects that power back into the wheels with grip. It's mechanically quite simple and very effective. So how can you tell that power is actually going to the back? Well, you can trick it by disabling traction control, feathering the brakes, moshing the gas, and you will see the rear wheels spin at full power, which is up to 50% of available torque. This system is simple and effective for most drivers. But Toyota has a more advanced torque vectoring system available. Why didn't they use that on this model? Again, we asked Toyota.
You know, for a family sedan, what we're going for is something that's appropriate for the segment. We don't have, you know, a bunch of more ground clearance for this vehicle. So what we have is the dynamic torque control, and that's really appropriate for this vehicle, for a family sedan.
Okay, now we're on the ice course. Now the funny thing here is that they didn't give us ice and snow tires. I'm actually on all season radials because they say this is what most people will probably experience with this vehicle. And it's like, okay, sure. It's very controlled. Now I'm not hot dogging it because, dude, it's a Camry, right?
The traction control system is pretty aggressive, and it does do a good job of keeping the vehicle tracking on the intended line. If you want a system that provides an extra layer of safety, this certainly will do the job. But to really test the system, I think we need to be a little bit more aggressive.
Okay, now we're going out with traction control turned off, and we're going to see how this system deals with it. Little cantilever slide, throttle in to get that back out. Nice. It's allowing me to have a little fun, power the corners to kick that back out. This is actually a lot of fun.
When driven aggressively, the system had no problem pushing power to the back wheels. Though it's not as fun to fling as a rear-biased Subaru WRX, while filming, I had a lot more fun than I had expected.
Oh, a little overcooked there, not too bad. Still have control over it. That was fun.
Let's go back to the road for some final thoughts about this new all-wheel drive family sedan.
This car is very quiet on the open road. Right now, I'm cruising along at 45. I feel like I'm in a nice little cocoon of quietness. It's kind of cool. Also, the leather, yeah, it has all sorts of really nice touch materials. It's really a great place to be. I mean, Toyota's really upped their game with this most recent Camry. The fact that they've now added all-wheel drive to it just makes it even better.
So how about a Camry with the TRD treatment and a V6 with torque vectoring all-wheel drive? Is that coming down the line?
I think, you know, as far as we look in the future, we're always looking at all options. TRD with a different system, it's potential, but you know, we have no actual comment on future product.
What would you get? The new Camry all-wheel drive, the Altima all-wheel drive, or the Subaru Legacy all-wheel drive? Post a comment below. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthat. We'll see you next time.